Hey everyone, welcome in, welcome in. I hope everyone's having a great and wonderful day today. So, I want to talk to you about boundaries and why it matters to set them. But first, let me give you the definition of boundaries. So, first, you have the definition of boundaries where there's a line that makes the limits of an area. So, like a dividing line. So, like if you have property, you have a dividing line around your property, right? But what is it for mental health? What are mental health boundaries? So, mental health boundaries are personal limits that define what is what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, sorry, I'm totally blank. Turn my volume up so we can actually hear me. All right, so mental health boundaries are personal limits that define what behaviors and situations are acceptable and unacceptable in any relationship. So that's what mental health um, boundary is, right? So boundaries are defined rules and limits that we need to establish in order to protect our our sanity, our peace of mind, our security and well-being around others. It's important that we do that. So there are different types of boundaries. So let's go over the different types. So you have the emotional. This is like not engaging in arguments. You have the physical, which is saying this, like from that movie of Dirty Dancing. This is my space. That is your space. It's okay to have physical boundaries. Oh, excuse me. Then you have your sexual boundaries, which is speaking about things that you're not comfortable doing or whatever, right? Then there's the workspace boundaries. It's important to have workspace boundaries because you're not going to be checking emails when you get home. That you're off the clock, you're done, right? So make sure you set those boundaries. Don't take those work phone calls, unless they're going to pay you extra, right? Then you have the material, which is you don't want to share or lend out any of your personal items like a phone or maybe a headset or whatever. You have that right not to do that. And of course, the last one is your time. And you need to schedule time for yourself, schedule time for your hobbies, or maybe a date night, or time with your kids, or just time alone. It's very important that you do that, right? So then, how do you set boundaries? I'm glad you asked that. But first, let me tell you that mental health boundaries are a way to protect your emotional and physical well-being by you setting expectations and clarifying. It's very important I tell you this, that you clarify what is and is not acceptable in terms of how others interact and treat you, right? So for instance, you're going to have your self-respect and self-care. So here's some key aspects. So boundaries are a form of self-respect and self-care. They protect your emotional and physical health. For example, choosing not to answer the work emails, like I mentioned earlier, right? That tells you that you value your rest and your personal space. Then you have your defining limits. Now, they may help you decide what behaviors, language, and treatments are acceptable. For instance, you may choose not to engage with someone who constantly criticizes you, puts you down, belittles you, and that's okay. That is acceptable to not do that. But here's the thing, make sure you have clear communication, because boundaries without communication, people are kind of like, ooh, do I say that? Do I not say that, right? And it's to be clear. I need time to process this before we continue the conversation, or I am not comfortable discussing this topic with you, or right now, or whatever the case is. Be clear, be concise, right? You always want to protect your mental health. Good boundaries are protecting your energy, your well-being, and you're limiting exposure to negative people, maybe even social media, to preserve the whatever peace of mind that you may want to have. Then you have your relationship dynamics. Healthy boundaries foster mutual respect. For example, you can tell a partner you need time alone without it being a threat to the relationship. And if you find that it's a threat, you need to question yourself. Is this a healthy relationship? Is it a green flag, a yellow flag or a red flag. And if you don't know what I mean, make sure you go to the other video on that one. You also want to be flexible. Boundaries don't mean being completely rigid. There's always going to be that gray because circumstances may change, but you still want to honor your core needs. Don't